FTPtheaterHour.com.
A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to help get back another different migrant who was deported to El Salvador, saying it violated a 2019 court settlement. This is a different judge than in the Abrego Garcia case. Better than expected quarterly profit reports and tech stocks lifted Wall Street's major indexes today. They included ServiceNow, the artificial intelligence company, and Southwest Airlines. Southwest joining a growing list of companies withdrawing forecasts because of uncertainty around tariffs. It's time for the next generation, says Senator Dick Durbin, the Illinois Democrat, announcing that he won't be seeking re-election next year, having served Illinois in the House and Senate for more than 4 decades.
It's up to the voters to decide what's right and who the right person is. I'm not going to make that decision. But I am confident we are going to have a diverse group of candidates running for the United States Senate, and it's going to make a difference.
Senator Durbin is 80. Tonight is round 1 of the NFL draft. ABC's Ike Ajachi has more on who the New York Giants could choose.
Many experts expect New York to draft Penn State defensive end Abdul Carter, but there's still some noise about the team drafting a quarterback at the pick. Will it be Shedeur Sanders, who's shown flashes of true stardom, or will it go in another direction?
Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter could head to Cleveland, and Miami quarterback Cam Ward may go to the Tennessee Titans. Former Philadelphia Phillies slugger Ryan Howard joining efforts amongst himself and others to expand the Negro Leagues Museum. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
He's coming. Here he goes.
Surprise! Your table saw broke. Also, the warranty expired weeks ago, so you need to pay for a new one out of pocket.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Oh, and the replacement part you ordered doesn't fit, so it's completely useless.
What a waste.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
4:05 now. Good afternoon. I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News headlines. Well, the Planned Parenthood clinic in Logan has announced it is closing after federal funds used to keep it up and running have been frozen under a directive from the Trump administration. Now, the clinic is set to close for the final time after April 30th. The St. George Clinic, meanwhile, is also going to be closing 2 days after the Logan location, with Planned Parenthood blaming about $2.8 million in Title X funds being frozen by the Trump administration. Now, Title X was originally established in 1970 to provide family planning and reproductive services to low-income individuals. Mary Taylor, the president of Pro-Life Utah, claimed that Planned Parenthood, though, was using Title X money as a means to ultimately provide abortions. Now, Shireen Gurbani, who is the interim president of Planned Parenthood of Utah, disagrees. Well, over 300 pairs of children's shoes will line the steps of the historic Cache County Courthouse on Monday at noon to draw attention to child abuse in Cache Valley. Now, the shoes are part of the Family Place's annual Steppin' Up for Utah Kids event. Each pair of children's shoes will represent a case of child abuse in the valley. This is one of the ways that the Family Place Utah showcases their mission to strengthen families and protect children during National Child Abuse Prevention Month and Utah Family Strengthening Month, according to Jacob Stevens, who's the marketing director for the Family Place. Not only do they set the shoes on the courthouse steps, they also have a program about kids and their trauma. Now, April was declared as National Child Abuse Prevention Month back in 1983 by President Ronald Reagan. The idea was to get public and private agencies involved in preventing violence towards children. Utah later renamed the month as Family Strengthening Month in 2022. Now, Tracy Gruber, who's the Department of Health and Human Services executive director, says she is concerned about the number of cases in the state, and she is encouraging neighbors and friends to reach out to people who may be experiencing tough times. And a man from Mexico has been sentenced to prison for attempting to distribute more than 50 pounds of methamphetamine in Utah. Fermin Castro Tovar, a 26-year-old, was sentenced on Monday in federal court to 8 years prison plus also 3 years probation. Now, a statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Utah said that Castro Tovar is a Mexican national who had been living in the United States illegally on an overstayed visa. Now, Felice John Vitti, who is acting U.S. Attorney for Utah, said that they will continue to work with state and local federal partners to dismantle organizations that are bringing drugs into our country and threatening our community's safety. Well, originally it was looking like we'd see quite a bit of rain activity, and the radar has shown some storms throughout the area, and we will continue to see a chance of some isolated thunderstorms through the rest of the day, as temperatures have been in the low 60s today. Tonight will drop into the mid-40s. Tomorrow a little warmer, as we'll hit 70 for Friday's high with cloudy skies, and then clearing up on Saturday, as we'll be around 71 to start off the weekend. And a slight chance of showers returns on Sunday, and it looks like showers will continue for at least a good chunk of next week. And it's Cardall's Insulation that brings you news and weather. If you're looking to have a more efficient and quiet home, call Cardall's Insulation at 755-5012. I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News Update. Another check of headlines coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Ah, spring. That time of year when you turn up the heat in the morning and the air conditioner in the afternoon. If you're constantly adjusting your thermostat just to stay comfortable, it might be time to talk insulation. You see, today's insulation is superior to what they used to put in homes. Not only does it help regulate the temperature inside, but it can also slash your energy bills. Or maybe you just need to insulate your attic, garage, or a specific room. No problem. Call Cardall's Insulation, 755-5012. That's 755-5012.
Taking news to an all-new level. News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Here's what some of our patients have to say about how Red River has changed their lives.
So before I started at Red River, I was having a lot of stomach pain. I was overweight, severe anxiety. I had been to multiple doctors. We had done tests, and no one could find anything that was wrong. And then a friend mentioned Red River, and I went and saw him, and it has changed my whole life. I'm sleeping through the night. I have energy for my kids. I've lost 30 pounds. No more stomach pains. I just feel really good.
Our goal is to focus on imbalances that are driving your condition or symptoms, not just give you Band-Aid answers. So when a patient comes to our office, we'll sit down with them extensively and go over their blood work to find out the underlying imbalances driving their symptoms.
Call Red River Health and Wellness at 855-55-RIVER. With offices in Logan, South Jordan, Springville, and St. George.
Call Red River today.
Friday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will break down the absolute latest in the bonkers world of Trump and his would-be obstacles. We'll give you the latest on all of that. Plus, I'll be in Washington, D.C. Should be some drama up there. I'll spend some of the morning at the White House. What do I learn? Should have some good stories for all of you. It'll be the Friday edition. Clay and Buck, come hang.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM. KVNU's For the People with Jason Williams and Bill Walter.
And it is Utah known as the fraud capital of the world. Not because we have more people committing fraud, but because we have so many people falling for it.
Going beneath the headlines and connecting you to the newsmakers.
The radio is a great way to get the word out to a lot of people in an emergency. So we thank you for your help and being a partner with us.
For the People on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, online at 610kvnu.com and on the KVNU mobile app.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Thursday, April 24th. I'm Jason Williams. As you heard in the news break there, it is sunny and nice south end of the valley, but we have basically a week's worth of scattered showers, thunderstorms, stuff like that in the forecast. About 15 degrees cooler today at the start of the show than it was yesterday. 54 degrees here at the Radio Ranch, 4:12 in the afternoon. And if you look north, if you look south, it's sunny and warm. If you look north, it looks pretty ugly. They're getting hammered up there in Preston right now, it looks like. But I'm just going to keep looking south. So, For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill kicking off the show here today. And later on in Hour 2, we'll speak with Holly Jo Karen, City Administrator for Richmond City. She's going to be talking to us about Black and White Days. The city says they've made it even bigger and better this year than it was, in the last few years. So that's coming up in Hour 2. Here in Hour 1, though, again, time to put aside all the scary headlines and sometimes anxiety-inducing news and talk arts and entertainment in the Theater Hour. And Charlie, you've been pretty busy with arts and entertainment.
Yeah.
pretty entertained.
Pretty much. We've got to talk about Shrek, the musical that is being staged at the Ellen Eccles Theater. And it's a winner. It's a real winner.
Now, this is very different from the movie, right?
Well, it's still basically the same story, but they naturally have to do accommodations. I mean, we've translated it from a cartoon to live action to a stage play, but they've done it very, very well.
That's nice to hear.
And the neat thing about it is there's some just gorgeous stuff going on. Danny Rash and the artists at Line Set Design and Fabrication have built the set, and it's lovely. It's just great. There are times when you can't see it because the entire stage is full of people dressed up like fairy tale creatures, but. And that's another thing. The costumes are marvelous, just marvelous. And that's a guy named Max Laughlin, who's a Bridgerland Tech graduate, designed the costumes.
Oh, that's very cool.
They're sensational. They just are.
That's impressive.
They've also got a guy named Byron Ballista. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. Who not only designed the wigs, and practically everybody is wearing a wig in this show, but he created all kinds of amusing and complex. You should see the thing they put on Chris Metz's head to make him into Shrek.
Really?
Oh, it's enormous. But
I saw a promotional photo and it looks heavy. But it can't be.
One of the best things he's done though is he stuck a nose on Meade Hansen that actually grows and shrinks on command.
Really?
Meade
cool.
is playing Pinocchio, and
that is very cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It really is.
That's I love. This is kind of a forgotten part of the Shrek story, but I love how it weaves in with every other
fairy tale,
famous fairy tale, Pinocchio, Red Riding Hood, all of those, and that's kind of fun, I think, for the cast.
Oh, and gigantic cast.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, there are times when you sit there and your heart's in your throat because you think somebody's about to fall off that stage, but they don't
because it's so crowded.
Yeah. But and they manage to dance. They do
impressive.
They do a tap dance to open up the second act. That's really cute because Fiona, played by Bailey Hendry, is leading a group of rats in a tap dance. And it's cute. It really is.
That is.
It's the whole thing is just wonderfully entertaining and inventive. And you see things and you say, okay, how are they going to get away with that? And then they get away with it.
And they pull it off.
Yeah.
Cash Theater Company always manages to one-up themselves. Every production in some way.
Well, shows like Spamalot.
Oh, yeah. Which was another success.
Was another success, but, it's kind of a little show. And,
that's
and
true.
so was SpongeBob the Musical.
Yeah.
It's the little shows, small cast, all that kind of stuff. This one, they threw everything but the kitchen sink on the stage at the Eccles, and it worked beautifully. Just gorgeous.
That's very cool.
The show is playing still through Saturday. And
two on Saturday, right? A matinee and the evening show.
Yeah, and if you want to have a good time, get out and see this one. This one's really worth your time.
This is, and I was surprised to see the tickets are
$35 flat.
Yeah, pretty cheap. Like no matter where you sit.
Yep, that's right.
Did you ever find anything out? Speaking of that, the balcony is closed for this one. Did you ever find anything out about why? I forgot I was going to ask.
I think they just wanted to pack the downstairs.
Well, and they have.
and of course, if you open the balcony, you have to have all kinds of, price adjustments.
Sure.
There's a modern dance troupe that's performing the Valley Dance Ensemble. And they've got the balcony closed for one of their shows as well.
Oh, really?
So maybe it's the coming thing.
It in a way, especially for something like this, it works because you're gonna sell that main area pretty close to out.
Well, and
each time,
and the tickets for this show are cheap enough that
yeah,
you really don't need a balcony discount.
Yeah, $35 for any seat in the house at Eccles is a good price.
Yeah.
And
the thing that I've mentioned Chris Metz and Bailey Hendry, who are the leads. There's a guy named Todd Partridge who comes in and plays the donkey, and he is wild. I mean, he is totally uninhibited.
That's the big comic
again.
relief.
You say, they're going to have to find somebody who's can play Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
this guy can do it.
And
the poor guy, he's got tin cans on his front, on his arm, on his hands.
Really?
Yeah, because they're supposed to be hoofs.
That's hilarious.
And I'm thinking, wow, that. You don't think about it, but if you can't gesture with your hands, you're going to have a few problems.
That's a creative way to do that.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that, roles like that would be intimidating as an actor because
of course
Eddie Murphy is so
legendary.
Yeah, that was so perfect and everyone knows that, how he played that. And then so you're going to do it on stage and you have to decide, do I try to copy that or do I make it my own or a little bit of both?
He's doing a little bit of both. And he makes some interesting choices. And
I love that.
The guy who brings down the house is Tyler Whitesides. He's playing Farquhar, and he's on his knees all night long
because he's supposed to be tiny.
Because he's supposed to be tiny, diminutive. But it doesn't stop him from singing and dancing, which is weird.
On his knees.
On his knees, yeah. So he leads an enormous cast who sing "Everything's Good" in Duloc.
Oh,
and it's amazing. And
very cool.
And also in the second act, he's waiting for Fiona to show up, and he does this incredible monologue.
Really?
While he's playing with action figures. And it's hysterical. Everybody is dying.
That's very fun. That is Shrek the Musical we're talking about here. It opened April 18th, but it plays until Saturday. You have a 7:30 show tonight, 7:30 show tomorrow night, and then Saturday you have both a 1:30 and a 7:30 show. Tickets are $35. And we should mention, on the other side, we should mention this, the crew at the Eccles, we got word today, is doing a a giveaway for their upcoming ABBA show for students. And then apparently they'll have some tickets for us to give away on a future show. This isn't until May, so you've got a while to prep for this one. So details on how students could get a free ticket to see Arrival from Sweden, the music of ABBA, on May 29th. That and more as the For the People Theater Hour, I almost said movie show, For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill continues right after this.
Step into a world of magic, motion, and imagination. The Cache Valley Figure Skating Club proudly presents their annual spring show, a celebration of books. Follow a young girl's journey through the pages of her favorite stories, brought to life on ice by skaters from the community. The USU Figure Skating Club, EIC Learn to Skate classes, and the Hot Chocolate Club. Friday, April 25th and Saturday, April 26th at 7:30 at the George S. Eccles Ice Center. Don't miss this enchanting celebration of storytelling on skates. Get your tickets now at cvfsc.com. That's cvfsc.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Is your mom or dad struggling to get in and out of their chair? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. We've seen it happen for years. As customers come into our store and they've had a recent fall, they're finally ready to ask for some help. Don't wait until you're injured. We have everything you need to avoid the fall before it happens. Now until the end of February, we're running a deal that we think you're going to love. When you purchase a lift chair, you can unlock 10% off your entire purchase. Get side tables, canes, shower chairs, walkers, and even ramps. We're open Monday through Friday. We've got stores from Idaho Falls to St. George and now in Tooele. Come into any one of our 11 locations and let us help you. Find us online at alpinehomemedical.com.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
This is Sweetwater Window Cleaning. Now spring is here, you'll be wanting to reclaim your home from all that dirt and grime. Why not have us take care of the window cleaning for you? I'm sure you've got plenty on your to-do list already. And let's face it, when you climb that dangerous ladder to clean your own windows, they never come out as good as you'd like. Let us give you that safe, crystal clean, professional results you want. Mention this ad and we'll remove hard water for free.
Sweetwater Window Cleaning, 3636543, 3636543.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. We've been talking about Shrek the Musical playing at Eccles Theater now, tonight, tomorrow night at 7:30, and then on Saturday, both a 1:30 and a 7:30 show. Tickets are $35, and then they take a bit of a break there until May 2nd and 3rd when Valley Dance Ensemble in a two-night event, one called Bloom, one called Sojourn. They take the stage there, followed by the Dance Source Spring Concert May 10th. And there's a lot going on at the Eccles. And I mentioned this before the break, but we got a message here at the station from our friend Gavin at Cache Arts, Cache Valley Center for the Arts. And they have coming up in May as well, May 29th, the end of May, Arrival from Sweden is playing. This is a tribute band sanctioned by the original members of ABBA. The music of ABBA, Arrival from Sweden, and it's a one-night event. Tickets range from $40 to $80, but Gavin let us know here at the station today that they're doing a giveaway, and so all students in Cache Valley, or even out of Cache Valley, students K through 12, if they bring in a report card, and that report card has at least, now of course they'd prefer it be a report card with all A's, but if that report card has at least 2 A's and 2 B's, at least, free ticket for that student to the Ellen, and you do that, just bring it to the Ellen Eccles box office. That's open daily in the afternoons at least. And so students K through 12 can get a free ticket to see Arrival. So you could get one for your parents if you're not interested in going, or if you're a parent and you've got kids, you could make your kids go in and get the tickets for you for free, or maybe the kids want to go. But that, again, is coming up May 29th at the Eccles. Arrival from Sweden, a tribute band to the original ABBA group. And students K through 12, if you bring in a report card with at least 2 A's and 2 B's, get it? ABBA, A-B-B-A. 2 A's and 2 B's on a report card. You get a free ticket from the Ellen Eccles box office. And that is for all K through 12 students. So thanks to Gavin for letting us know about that. And we're going to be giving a handful of tickets away to that event here on the show on a future For the People Theater Hour. So stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, send your kids down and get a free ticket if they've got a decent report card.
I'd have been out of luck on that at least 2 A's and 2 B's thing.
That's for me, especially as a high school student. That was pushing it. But I could only get free tickets to the bands with a lot of C's in the name, like Creedence Clearwater Tribute Band or something. But this is I should mention the rest quickly since I mentioned a few. But throughout May, it's kind of dance performance month at Eccles Theater. And so after the Dance Source Spring Concert, May 10th, there's also Cache Valley Civic Ballet. They're doing something called a Showcase of Choreographers, an annual showcase. That's May 16th, $10 for tickets. And Cache Valley Civic Ballet, then on May 17th, will do their year-end performance. And then they get back to regular programming with Arrival from Sweden on May 29th. And then it's just, off to the races through the summer, basically. So I'm intrigued by every time I see it. I plan to see Scarlet Pimpernel, Music Theater West, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I've never been a fan myself, but I'm kind of intrigued by Cache Theater Company coming back with Prince of Egypt in July at the Eccles Theater.
We'll see.
So they're not taking much of a break. I thought there was a longer gap between Shrek the Musical from Cache Theater Company and Prince of Egypt, but
I think
it's like 2 weeks.
I think Shrek was originally planned to be their spring show, and then they were encouraged to get into Prince of Egypt.
That makes sense.
To fill the gap at the Eccles.
That is.
The interesting thing there is they were auditioning people throughout the state, not just the Valley, for Prince of Egypt.
Okay.
Because that's a fairly recent release from the theater bookers. So a lot of people are very interested in being in that show.
Yeah.
So
that would make sense.
Yeah.
And that would probably not very easy to throw something like that together quickly.
It will be interesting to see how it turns out.
That is. And again, that's not until July. Before then, you have Music Theater West with the Scarlet Pimpernel. And then also something after the ABBA tribute band on May 29th. May 31st, you have this kind of, I think it's podcast-based again, but it's JK Studios Live. I think they record a podcast live at theaters around the country. And then this has been added. This is way after the end of summer, September 26th. Wendy and crew have added the Ronstadt Revival featuring Shannon Ray. This is a tribute to legendary Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
That's and tickets are on sale for that, it looks like. So
okay.
All right, so there's the Eccles.
Also, we need to talk a little bit about films.
Yeah.
Because the Utah Theater, all during May, is doing May the 4th Be With You.
I love this.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Including one day where they're doing a marathon.
Where they're doing back-to-back screenings of the original Star Wars movie, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi on Saturday, May 3rd.
That is, as a Star Wars fan, I've never done that, and I've always wanted to.
And
to see them all back to back in a theater.
And if you don't have time on May 3rd, you can catch the whole thing playing throughout the month of May.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, I don't know who's programming at the Utah, but they have scrupulously avoided The Phantom Menace.
Recognizing the
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, The Revenge of the Sith, all the shows, all those Star Wars things that nobody likes. Forget it. We can fill the month without having to go to them.
I think it's a smart choice because you could get enough of an audience with the original three, just replaying.
Well,
them.
you've got a second trilogy that was recently released.
Yeah,
with
it was more popular than the prequels that Lucas made himself.
You got The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. Those shows, but they're also doing Solo, which is a Han Solo origin story.
Oh wow, okay.
But I think the best one that they've done in a long time, if you ignore The Mandalorian on
what was that?
On
Disney Plus. That's right.
They're bringing back. They're going to do Rogue One.
Oh, okay.
Which is a prequel to The New Hope.
That's one of my favorites.
And that's one of the best, I think, of the recent movies.
I agree. That was one that reminded me the most of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Well, it was just an action movie, basically, with really cool special effects. And that is cool. I'm looking at this here, but yeah, starting May 1st, actually wasting no time. And they are just over and over, 2-night events with every movie, and then on the let's see, it's the Saturday, May 3rd. Sorry, Saturday, May 3rd.
That's
the when they're playing all three back to back, starting at 2 in the afternoon
of the original trilogy. Yeah,
that's 2:00 to 9:00. That's your commitment there. You're going to need snacks.
I bet you, I think there's going to be some breaks in there that you could run out.
Yeah, and I have to put in a plug for him. Because I was headed to a show. This was weeks ago, but I was headed to a show, and everyone was hungry. I ran over to that I forget what it's called now. Center Street Pizza, I think.
Yeah,
they can make you a pizza in 12 minutes, and then you walk out, and then you all eat a slice of that pizza as you walk to Eccles or the Utah or whatever it might be, and it works. So. For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill underway here, talking about the Utah Theater Star Wars Marathon in celebration of the fan-driven holiday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, get it. But the 4th is on a Sunday this year, so it's being celebrated on the 3rd. The Utah Theater celebrating it throughout the month of May. Everything from the original trilogy to the latest 3 films to Rogue One, Solo, A Star Wars Story, all of that. And you can see the full calendar at theutahtheater.org. And we'll be back with more of the For the People Theater Hour and Charlie Schill here in the studio right after this look at the news with KVNU's Will Feel Right.
Well, thank you, Jason. Utah Governor Spencer Cox issuing an order for the flags of the United States of America and the state of Utah to remain at half staff on all state facilities on Saturday in recognition of the passing of firefighter Corbin Summers of the South Jordan Fire Department, who died while on duty. Now, the governor said that we are deeply saddened by the sudden passing of firefighter Summers. He was known for his kindness and unwavering commitment to serving others, and the governor said we honor his memory and mourn this profound loss. And our prayers are with his family and children, his fire family, and the entire community that he so faithfully served. Now, flags are currently at half staff in recognition already of the passing of Pope Francis, and flags should remain at the half-staff position until the interment of the Pope Saturday morning, and then remain lowered on Saturday for firefighter Summers. Now, the governor has extended this invitation to all private citizens, businesses, and organizations to participate in this recognition as well. Well, when boat owners get ready to take their watercraft out of storage this spring, the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources is reminding them of a few requirements before they launch into Hiram Reservoir or any other Utah water body. Now, all regulations remain the same as last year for anyone boating, paddleboarding, or kayaking in Utah. DWR is reminding boaters that of those rules, anyone who launches a boat of any type of watercraft into Utah, both resident or non-resident, is required to take an annual muscle-aware boater course. Now, this includes owners of paddleboards, kayaks, and other non-motorized watercraft. Also, anyone who wants to launch a motorized boat must also pay an annual Aquatic Invasive Species Program vessel enrollment fee. The Aquatic Invasive Species fee is separate from a boater registration fee, and each will have separate decals. Now, the boater registration payment can be made through the Utah Division of Motor Vehicles, and the Aquatic Invasive Species fee can be paid online. And prosecutors in the double murder trial of Kent Cody Barlow have asked a judge to admit evidence of his past meth use and a previous high-speed police chase, arguing his repeated claim that drugs impaired his judgment is a pattern and not a defense. Now, Utah County prosecutors originally filed a potential notice of intent to try to get some of Kent Cody Barlow's criminal record admitted at trial 7 months before his double murder trial began. Back in September, in anticipation of evidence at trial, prosecutors had filed a notice of potential 404B evidence. In the team's initial notice, they noted that Barlow's assertion of voluntary intoxication as an affirmative defense may open the door to rebuttal evidence. Well, we've got isolated thunderstorms still possible through the rest of the afternoon as temperatures stayed in the low 60s today. Tonight will drop into the mid-40s overnight. And then clouds continuing tomorrow as temperatures Friday will be around 70. Still looking at sunny skies on Saturday with temperatures around 71 before a chance of showers will return for Sunday and into next week. And it's Logan Extermination that brings you our weather. Here's part of news at the bottom of the hour. If you're getting ready to try to take care of the weeds in your yard and you don't want to try to tackle it yourself, call the Logan Extermination, 752-8450. They can come out and spray those weeds and put in a pre-emergent as well to keep future weeds from coming up. It's Logan Extermination. And I'm Will Feelright with your KVNU News headlines.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. An arrest for allegedly starting a wildfire. The fire in southern New Jersey, says Ocean County prosecutor Bradley Bilheim.
We did arrest a 19-year-old young man from Waretown. His name is Joseph Kling.
No word about a motive. President Trump at the White House saying the U.S. and China are talking every day about trade and tariffs.
They had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is.
But China's publicly denying any talks with the U.S. are going on. Reporter asked President Trump about the report today showing sales of existing homes in March were the lowest since 2009.
No, they had very good numbers on housing today, extremely good numbers, and that's despite interest rates.
The housing report is a regular one from the National Association of Realtors. It says sales were the slowest since the end of the Great Recession. Wall Street major indexes closed higher on some better than expected corporate earnings reports. The Dow and the NASDAQ up over 400 points. This is ABC News.
Hi, I'm Wendy, co-founder of Bell Sculpt. I know what it's like to feel uncomfortable in your own skin, worrying about how you look, feeling drained, and just not like yourself. Hormone changes, pregnancy, or aging can lead to weight gain and challenges that aren't your fault. That's why I believe so strongly in what we do at Bell Sculpt. I've had a procedure myself, and it transformed more than just my shape. It boosted my energy, metabolism, and confidence. If you're ready to feel like yourself again, Bell Sculpt is here to help. Book your free consultation at bellsculpt.fm.
This is Cheryl, bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of financial advisor Jeff Olson and Edward Jones. U.S. equity markets closed sharply higher on Thursday, with the S&P 500 logging its third consecutive daily gain of over 1.5%. From a leadership perspective, growth sectors of the S&P 500, such as technology and communication services, were among the top performers, while defensive sectors, such as consumer staples and utilities, were among the laggards. On the corporate front, earnings remain in focus, with Alphabet scheduled to report after the market closed today. Overseas, Asian markets were mixed overnight, while European markets closed modestly higher following a better-than-expected reading on business sentiment in Germany. Turning to the economy, Durable goods orders were sharply above expectations for March, driven by a surge in non-defense aircraft and parts, while initial jobless claims for the last week remains contained at 222,000. Bond yields finished the day lower, with the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield falling to around the 4.3% mark. Today, U.S. equities closed higher. The Dow closed up 487 points, or 1.23%, at 40,093. The Nasdaq closed up 458 points, or 2.74%, at 17,166. The S&P 500 closed up 109 points, or 2.03%, at 5,485. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 4.31%, lower by 0.07 percentage points. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Jeff Olson, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 580 North Main in Logan. If you would like additional information, please contact our branch office at 435-787-8170. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
Golfers, make plans now for a great day of golf at the Slough in the Rough Golf Tournament, Friday, May 9th at Logan River Golf Course. Breakfast and registration begins at 8 a.m. with a shotgun start at 9 a.m. followed by lunch and lots of prizes. Gift bags will be available for all participants. The Slough in the Rough Golf Tournament is an event to raise funds benefiting students and teachers through the Logan Schools Foundation. Reserve your foursome a spot and get signed up today online at loganschoolsfoundation.org.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. It's the Theater Hour with Charlie Schill underway here. And we've got a lot to talk about. We've covered Shrek the Musical playing until Saturday, and 2 shows on Saturday at the Eccles. You have the May the 4th celebration of Star Wars that is actually running throughout the month of May at the Utah Theater. You can see almost every one of them there except the prequels. The first 3, the last 3, and some of those Rogue One, etc. that fall in between. Check out the full schedule starting May 1st at the utahtheater.org, and then, of course, on Saturday, May 3rd, when May 4th, when May the 4th be with you is actually being celebrated, since it falls on a Sunday this year, they're doing all 3 starting at 2 p.m. New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And that, again, full schedule for the month of May and the Star Wars celebration, month-long, at the utahtheater.org. And what's next?
You know, the only thing wrong with and it's not really wrong, with Rogue One is that it doesn't have a lot of the humor that was in the first 3 movies.
Yeah, it's darker.
Yeah, it's darker.
That is, I remember, now this is, I almost feel guilty telling this story.
No spoiler alerts.
I feel guilty telling this story. Oh, yeah, actually, I can't tell the story. It's a spoiler. Well, we'll just spoil it. If you know the Star Wars story, you know no one survives. They all have to die. It's part of the story. You're told that in A New Hope. So if you didn't know that, you weren't paying attention in the original trilogy. But you know that when you see Rogue One, that everyone involved does not survive. And I saw this.
But they get the plans for the Death Star to R2-D2.
Yeah, they succeed at their mission, but they don't survive. And again, they tell you that in the first Star Wars movie ever. So it's not news. It shouldn't be. So that was 1977. So I remember seeing this. I saw this with my mom. And my mom has passed away, so I always feel guilty telling the story because you shouldn't, make jokes at someone who's no longer here. But still the funniest story I have of her, because we see this whole movie. She was a huge Star Wars fan, so I went with my mom. We saw this whole movie. And at the end of the movie, after it ends everything, she turns to me and said, "So what happened to them? Do they show up in the other movies?" And I turned and looked
Mom,
at her
they
and
died.
said, "Did you not just see what happened on the screen?" Oh, I teased her about that for years. But yeah, it is honestly one of my favorites of the post Lucas years that after Disney bought the franchise.
Because
Rogue One.
because it's a good movie. It's a good action movie.
Yeah. Honestly, Star Wars was so successful because it's an action movie with cool special effects and robots and aliens.
And
Lucas
some
forgot
funny
that.
jokes.
And some funny jokes. And Lucas kind of forgot that with the trilogy. Or maybe he didn't forget it. Maybe he was intentionally not trying to make the same kind of thing. But
Leia says to Han, "I love you," and he says, "I know."
Still, one of the most classic lines in cinema. It's just so perfect. And then in the
and he ad-libbed it.
That's right. And then in the later trilogy, the last three that have come out, the J.J. Abrams trilogy, basically, they get a chance to get even with him on that same line. And I don't know, it's so great. But yeah, that's fun for the Utah Theater to be doing that. And I have to say, I mean, I don't really know how this works. I would imagine that isn't cheap for them to do. I don't know what the going rate for, the license fees for screening a film like that are anymore.
But some of these movies are so old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that the license fee would be really high. I mean, they're all on streaming services on television.
Yeah, that's. I would like to know. I wonder.
We ought to have somebody in one time to tell us about how that all works.
Yeah, because I don't understand
Wait
it
a minute,
bit.
that's movie show stuff.
We can mix the two.
We
We just won't tell the movie show guy that we did it, that we stole his content. But yeah, it's. I'll ask him tomorrow and see if maybe he knows. But he got a master's degree in movie rating system.
What?
He did. It was a master's degree in the MPAA, the history of the MPAA, but also in sort of the cultural side of rating and ranking systems when it comes to how people consume entertainment. And it was how he got into the movie critic world, basically. But he was originally doing it because he wanted to work in PR, and then he turned himself into a movie critic. So, yeah.
Boy, there's a
it's kind of surprising it exists, right?
That sounds like a kind of useless degree to me.
I didn't even know such a program existed. What do you have?
Did you go out? What gender studies was full?
What was the joke? I remember this when I was in college. It was the common joke. Oh, underwater basket weaving.
Yes.
That was the joke that always be thrown around, that if you hadn't picked a major yet, you would just tell people you were majoring in underwater basket weaving. Somewhere out there's an underwater basket weaving master's program. You know it.
Oh, no, it must be a PhD program.
Yeah, it would have to be higher level, right?
I'm absolutely positive that half my professors in college had underwater basket weaving degrees.
Doctorate.
Because they sure didn't know what they were talking about on anything else.
Oh, it's fun to see some of when you hear some. I was reading USU. This is to get into the news a little bit, but USU announced some of the programs they were cutting, and I remember reading through that, thinking, "Wow, I'm surprised there were no students in those programs." That's not fair. There was one that I thought, they should keep that one, but yeah, I think they were pretty smart about what they decided to eliminate.
How many students were going to major in American Sign Language?
Yeah, that was the one that caught me, because I thought, why would that be? Now, the classes, I can see why. There are a lot of different reasons somebody would take American Sign Language classes, or even make it a focus of their major. But
a degree program?
But yeah, why is that a specific degree? And it seems like that's going to... Yeah. Seems like you could merge that with another degree program and do the same thing, a communications degree even. So, yeah. Anyway, we got derailed.
Yes. Let's get back to theater.
Back to theater.
The Lyric Repertory Company has announced some of the casts for their upcoming summer shows.
Oh, okay.
And the first one is, of course, Bright Star, the bluegrass musical by Steve Martin and Edie Bricknell. And the show will be directed by Eric Van Teen. And this will be the first time that he's directed.
Oh, really?
For the Lyric Company. So
wow.
That should be interesting. He's been worked with the Lyric Company 5 different previous times.
Okay.
Recently, he did a 2-man show called Murder for Two back in 2019 that was just hilarious.
I think I saw that.
Oh, yeah, you probably did.
I can't remember the details, but the name, I think I saw that.
It was,
and I had a good time.
I did. He played the detective, and his partner played all of the suspects.
I remember that now, and that was the fun part.
Well, the interesting thing,
watching him go out and come back in is
yeah. Playing the role of the lead in the show, Alice Murphy, will be a Belgian-American actress out of Chicago named Kelsey Krotz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. That's how it's spelled. I got to tell you, the problem is that our own homegrown Alice Murphy, Lindsay Kellstrom, is also in the cast.
Really?
Yeah,
but not that.
But she's in the ensemble, and she's cast as an understudy. So, if this young actress was good enough to beat out Lindsay Kellstrom, I want to see her perform.
That's it. That surprises me.
Yeah, because Lindsay's really got that part down,
and that's kind of a gimme on putting her in that role.
I would have assumed it was a gimme, but apparently it wasn't.
That's interesting.
Other cast members.
I'd love to know the backstory.
Yeah, other cast members that we all know: Tamari Dunbar. Lee Daly is going to come in and play Daddy Kane in the show.
Oh, okay.
And Lee's been in everything.
Yeah.
He's 20 seasons with Richie Call and Stefan Espinosa will be also performing on stage in Bright Star. And our favorites, Megan Bedell, Marin Robinson, and Ariana Watcott will also be coming from the USU student body. So that should be a good show.
That's going to be really good.
Yes.
All right. For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill underway here, and we've got more to get to, so we'll get right to it after this quick break.
News Talk 610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
The Earth Day celebration is our big annual event each year at Valley Metal Recycling. Hi, this is Paulette. Do your spring cleaning and bring us all your old metal, appliances, soda cans, old car parts, or cars. Come in this week to our clean and paved yard. You'll be in and out quick, and we'll put cash in your hand with our best prices so far this year. The Earth Day celebration happens all week long. Enjoy prizes, giveaways, free snacks, and cash in your hand for all your old recyclable metal. No appointment needed. Just stop by 145 North 10th West, Valley Metal Recycling.
Here's Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, with a tip for your lawn.
Warmer temperatures have both weeds and grass competing for space in your yard. Dandelions, thistle, clover, morning glory will all be kept under better control when you have us applying pre-emergence and weed control. At the same time, we can feed your grass to make sure it wins the battle and keep it lush and growing all season long. Regular visits from the lawn doctor will help your lawn be healthier and pest-free.
Fertilizer, weed, and pest control. Call Chad Norton, the lawn doctor, at 753-LAWN. Follow them on Facebook or go to LawnDoctorCashValley.com.
Hello everyone, this is Lieutenant Parslow with the Logan City Police Department. As the snow melts and the grass turns green, it's the perfect time for our spring dog and cat chipping clinic. The event will be held Saturday, April 26th at the B-Tech West Building, 1410 North, 1000 West in Logan. Bring your dogs between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Bring your cats between 11:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Pre-registration is just $15 per tip and can be done by calling 435-716-9300. Please remember, all dogs and cats must have proof of rabies vaccination and should be on a leash or in a carrier.
Welcome back to the For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. About 3 minutes left in the hour. Holly Jo Karen, City Administrator of Richmond City, joining us at the top of Hour 2 to talk about 2025's Black and White Days coming up in May. But for now, a few more minutes of theater fun. And did we miss anything?
Well, you mentioned the Valley Dance Ensemble. They're doing 2 shows the first weekend in May. The first one is called Bloom, which is a fairy tale being performed in modern dance by the students in the School of Dance that they run.
Okay.
The second show is called Sojourn, and that's their adult performers.
Okay.
The show is being directed by come on, think. Caitlin Jennings. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right.
She's their artistic director, and she does some choreography. The thing about Sojourn...
So this is all local production.
Yeah. The thing about Sojourn is that it's also going to have separate numbers choreographed by members of the troupe.
Oh, that's fun. Everybody gets to show off.
I sat through a dress rehearsal of their show last year, Forces, and it really knocked my socks off.
That is very cool. That was near Sellout, too, the Forces one.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. I didn't see an actual performance. I saw a dress rehearsal.
That is, I just remember when they did that, someone sent a photo and said, I have never seen it this crowded for a dance ensemble.
Well, good for them.
Yeah, they know how to promote. That's very cool. Catcharts.org for more information on any of these shows we've talked about. Almost everything happening at the Eccles other than the Star Wars celebration. And Charlie will be back with us next week at 4 o'clock for another episode of the For the People Theater Hour. Stick around. Coming up in Hour 2, we'll kick things off with Richmond City Administrator Holly Jo Karen. She's going to talk to us about Black and White Days 2025. What's new? That's next here on KVNU.